So in today's video, we're talking about Avantasia, a Paranormal Evening with the Moonflower Society, released on October 21st, 2022 through Nuclear Blast Records. Avantasia is this German-like supergroup. It's a metal opera project created by Tobias Sammet. He's the vocalist for the band Edguy. And they call it like a rock opera. And the thing that's really significant about this particular project is that they have lots of different like vocalists from different bands, mostly like power metal bands or symphonic metal bands, but anyone from like the metal spectrum. Like they do have like this core group of people who are usually in it, but also have lots of special guests. So over the years, they've had people like Dee Snider, Alice Cooper, and lots of others. But they do have this core group, which I will talk about in a minute. This band started in 2001 with the Metal Opera, then the Metal Opera Part 2, and have been releasing albums since then. This is the follow-up to Moonglow from 2019. And it's pretty good. It's something different. It's like power metal. So basically on this album, you're going to get a lot of different people. You have Tobias, he sings on most of the tracks. But then you got Ralph Scheepers from Primal Fear, Floor Jansen from Nightwish, Michael Kiske from Halloween, Jorn Land, he's the guy, he does his own thing. He released an album this year that's really good. Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Maids. Bob Catley, he's a guy, he plays in a band called Magnum or Hardrin. He's actually an older gentleman. He's 75 years old, but still sings great. Eric Martin from Mr. Big. Jeff Tate, we know him from Ex-Queensryche, and now he has his own band, Operation Mindcrime, and he has like another one which I reviewed last year, and that's about it. So on this album, lots of different people, and I am finding that the songs do kind of sound like usually like the singers kind of like original bands. So like the ones with Michael Kiske kind of like have more of like a Halloween feel. Maybe the ones with Ralph Scheepers have more of that like Primal Fear kind of feel. So that's kind of like the general idea of this album. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not like the biggest like power metal guy. I haven't really followed this project. This is the first album I've actually listened to from this band, but it's pretty good. So opening track, Welcome to the Shadows, kind of like a very theatrical song, kind of like sets the stage. I noticed that Tobias Sammet's vocals, he kind of reminded me of like Jeff Tate. So that was like the one thing I noticed. It's a big song, it's theatrical, almost like a show tune, but like in the form of like metal. So that's pretty cool. It's catchy, sing-along style. They mix in a little of that 70s prog. So pretty cool. Then The Wicked Rule of the Night with Ralph Scheepers. And this is the heavy song. It's very fast power metal style. Just got that really fast drum beat, lots of those screams. One thing I noticed about Ralph Scheepers is that he reminds me a lot of Rob Halford. He has those like really high screams, so he could do that very well. It's heavy, and like I said, can be compared to like Primal Fear, so that was good. Then Kill the Pain. This one has Floor Jansen, and this one is actually kind of like a duet, like Floor and Tobias trade off verses, so has those male and female vocals coming together. This one, a little more symphonic, has Floor, so that's what you're going to get. And you got the choir singing, you got melodic power vocals. It's symphonic metal, but it's pretty cool. The Inmost Light, this one has Michael Kiske. This one reminded me a lot of Halloween, and this one I actually liked a lot because that is the one band I do, know the best out of all of these different like singers. But this one's good. It's heavy, it's melodic, and really great guitar solo on this one. Then Misplaced Among the Angels. This one has Floor Jansen again. Another one with it's a duet with Floor and Tobias. It's kind of slow, very theatrical. It has a very good chorus, that big arena style chorus. They trade off verses, and really good song. Then I Tame the Storm. This one has Jorn Land, and pretty much anything Jorn does is just really good. So he has just a really great voice. It's heavy, got that like machine gun drumming, and more like classic metal. I think similar to what like Jorn did on his previous album that was released earlier this year, so that one's really good. Then Paper Plane with Ronnie Atkins. One was a little softer, more of a power ballad, kind of like that, like AOR rock style, keyboards and synth and guitar fills. More of a mellow song. Ronnie Atkins is one of the singers that I don't really know very well, so it was good. Then the Moonflower Society with Bob Catley. Another one, more power metal, melodic rock singing. You got some of those like chugging palm muted guitars in the verse and some guitar acrobatics. Tobias does some vocals on this as well. You got some breakdowns, some atmospheric sounds, some symphonic stuff. That was pretty cool. And Rhyme and Reason, this one was Eric Martin. Kind of like it mixes that like European power metal and I guess that like very like guitar heavy like shredder type of metal. It's kind of like arena rock as well. It's catchy. It has a good chorus, nice drum sound, technical riffing, so that's pretty good. Then the song Scars with Jeff Tate. This one's a little more, adds in more like electronics. And they got the clean guitars. This is more along the lines of like Jeff Tate's like solo stuff with like Operation Mindcrime as opposed to something sounding like Queensryche. It's a little more atmospheric, a lot more layers of sound. It goes back between the heavy and light riffs. And pretty cool breakdown this one, and then this one has some nice backing vocals. The last song is one of my favorites. It's actually a long song called Arabesque. And this one has Jorn Land and Michael Kiske. And it does have, it has bagpipes. I thought that was pretty cool. And bagpipes sound really good in metal. And you got Middle Eastern riffs, This is almost like a longer, almost like a prog metal song. So I thought of Dream Theater when I heard this. It has that big chorus, choir singers. I think Tobias comes in at one point. He does these melodic vocals towards the end. And it's just this very, very big theatrical song. And it's like, this is like the closing song. It's just, very big, epic. And you got the bagpipes. And that's pretty cool. So I thought this was pretty good. It's, if you like power metal, if you like all of the different bands that I mentioned and all the singers, you'll get into this. And I'm pretty sure, like, if you have been a fan, you have listened to their other stuff. And it's something I need to do. It is something that's new to me. So I am interested in checking out some of those older albums. So that's all. My score, 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.